What's up, guys? You are hanging with Killer Shrew Fans Killer Toy Reviews, and today we are very excited to bring you this guy. It is the new for 2017 Papo Polacanthus. Now, I do apologize, he is already unwrapped, and it is a little late to do this review, seeing as he's been on the market for a few months now, but the reason for all that is, I did a review of this guy back in March or so when I first got him, and it kinda turned out so I decided to hold off and wait to do an actual review until I had the better means to do so, and this is the first chance I got. Now, if you're unaware of what Papo is it's a French manufacturer that specializes in highly detailed figures and models, my favorite, of course, being the dinosaurs that they do. And the Polacanthus is just one of the new dinosaurs that they released this year. And it seems this year that they really wanted to up their color schemes, go more vibrant with their colors. And they did, they really did. And at first I was sort of on the fence with that, like, especially with this guy. The harsh purple did not look good to me, and I didn't really think about picking this guy up, but then he became one of the first available, and I just sort of snatched him up, I was so excited to get a Papo figure from 2017, and this guy was my first opportunity, so that's how that happened. And again, when I first got him, I was still sort of on the fence about the coloration, but the more he sat on my shelf, the more I came to like it. And that's also why I think it's good that this review waited, because first impressions with toys can be very misleading. Like, you could get a toy and at first it'd be like, I'm not really a huge fan, which is how I was with this guy. Or you could get it and you could absolutely love it, but then the more you look at it, the more you're like, is it really that good? So that's why I thought, waiting might be another good idea. And waiting I did, and the more I waited, the more this guy grew on me. Now, as always, Papo did not disappoint with their details, and then they augmented it with a decent paint job, I must say. The purple is still a little harsh, but when you get this guy in person, you can kind of see that they underlined it with brown, and then they sort of painted the purple over, which really make all the details pop, and it gives it more of a natural feel than what the stock images led you to imagine. So, let's get a closer look at this guy. Now, if you're like me, and I know that I am, your first exposure to the Papo Polacanthus was in the BBC Walking with Dinosaurs documentary, and as you may or may not be able to tell, this guy looks nothing like that guy. For better or for worse. Starting off with the head, you've got some lovely details, again, what Papo is very well known for, with all the little scales and bumps being sculpted and individually detailed, and you've got a lovely eye peeking out of there with a very alert pupil, and going down onto the side, they change colors into sort of a tawny-ish color. I'm not good with colors, but you know what I mean. It's sort of a brownish color, which actually does not clash horribly with the purple. It's a very nice pairing. And you've got more lovely sculpted pebbles right there, and then the skin folding where the mouth opening's a lovely detail, and it goes all the way around the lower jaw, as you can see. Okay, one note though, they did not sculpt a palate in that thing. That is just flat red in there, and that kind of bugs me. It's a little disappointing, but again, this is a very small mouth. I guess I can't expect them to have that level of detail in that mouth, but it would have been nice to see something in there. On the other side, same story, you've got a lovely eye, the pebbles poking up there, and the lovely skin folds and pebbles on the lower jaw. Moving down the neck, you've got some lovely wrinkles and folds in that entire area, and then when it meets the shoulder blade area there, you've got some lovely bunching of the skin. And starting at the neck, you start to get all of these little osteoderms that go all the way down to the back plate, stop for a bit, and then continue down the tail there. Now, I know there might be a concerned parent or two watching this video, and they might be saying, hey, Killer Shrew fan, are these spikes safe for kids? And honestly, they are. I mean, they're not a flimsy plastic by any means, but they are a much softer plastic than the rest of the toys, so they do bend. I don't think a kid, and they're not sharp. I don't think a kid could poke their eye out playing with this toy, so don't be afraid. If your kid wants to get this, let them. Don't be a helicopter parent, it's not going to kill them. Listen to me giving parent advice. Ugh, that's scary. Anywho, back to the detail. As you can see, we've got a lovely sculpted arm right there. Very well-defined musculature, and the wrinkling skin bunching up and moving with the flow of the arm right up top, going down into some very nice toe claws. Now, one issue I have is the toe claws are a little too crisp. They're a little too snooty. They are not weathered. They're just sort of a flat black. Which is kind of eh for me. I wish they had more of a weathered look, like elephant sort of toenails. That would have been nice to see. And on the other side, we have another lovely sculpted arm and musculature and the folding of the skin going back all the way into the back leg, which is nice and thick and stumpy, very muscly, with lovely, lovely detail. The pebbles continue with different sizes, as you can see in there, going back down into those toe claws, which again could use a little more weathering. On the flip side, same story. And a nice detail is they gave this creature sort of a tentative walking pose, as you can sort of see there with that back foot pushing off. And they gave a lovely, lovely attention to that sort of how the folds of skin would wrinkle around the toes. And then again, we've got lovely musculature on the underside. 2017 Papo, made in PRG, all of the bookkeeping information. And then on the back, we've got the awesome, infamous Polacanthus sort of plate that goes right there. And this is important because this is really the most well-preserved aspect of the Polacanthus, and really what scientists have sort of built the rest of the creature around, because this is really the only one of the only well-preserved things, and one of the only things they really understand about Polacanthus. So it's nice to see that they included that detail, and so lovingly, with a bunch of the pebbling scales and some spikes poking up there. Now the spikes, they do have weathering on them. I did not point this out earlier. They do look pretty good, I must say. I do like how they have that sort of, they're not just flat white. They've got they've got nicks, they've got all this stuff going on, the lines, the detail, and that's great to see. Moving on back, nice long tail there, as you can see, with lovely, lovely osteoderms the whole way down. Again, all weathered very nicely, all look great, and the tail is nice and long, as I said. And on the underside, we've got more lovely skin wrinklage going on, all the way down to the tip of the tail. Now, as you can see, he is a very detailed figure. He looks great. He really does. I'm still iffy on the paint job. He's got a nice gloss to him, which, for the armored dinosaurs, I'm not 100% happy with. I do like gloss on some of the more, like, you know, slithery dinosaurs, like a Dilophosaurus. The gloss on that thing looks great because it's like a snakeskin. But for these bumpy, pebbly dinosaurs that should look more sort of armored, I don't know if I like the gloss. But again, that is just a mild nitpick when it comes to this figure. I really do like this figure. It looks great on the shelf. It's going to look great on yours if you do decide to get it. So, just how big is this guy? Well, let's bring in the tape measure and get a look, shall we? So, from the tip of the tail to the front of the head, you're looking at about 7.5 inches or so. And at the highest point, which is the head, you're looking at about 2 inches, a little more than 2 inches off the ground there. And we'll bring in some other Papo figures for size comparison. This is the smallest one I own. It is the Papo Tupuwara. And this is an older figure from Papo, and as you can see, for being the smallest figure I have, he is still taller than the Polacanthus. He's certainly not longer, but he still rears up a little higher than the top of the Polacanthus's head. Next, we have the also new for 2017, depending on how you look at it, Velociraptor. And as you can see, I have to readjust my camera work here to fit the Velociraptor in frame. The Velociraptor, I figured, you know, that's kind of a common Papo figure, and most people probably have it if they collect Papo. So this gives you an idea of how the Polacanthus sizes up compared to the Velociraptor. And now, for one of my all-time favorite dinosaur figures from Papo, it is the Papo Tyrannosaurus Rex, and as you can see, he just dwarfs the Polacanthus. There is no comparing these two in size. He's much taller, much heftier. The Polacanthus pretty much comes up to just below his knee. So if you have the green T-Rex, or any squatting T-Rex from Papo, I suppose, this gives you a good idea on the size to expect from the Polacanthus. So that concludes our look at the 2017 Papo Polacanthus. At the end of the day, I'd probably give this figure maybe a 6.5 out of 10, 7. 6.5 probably would be the better way. He's nothing that will blow your mind, especially if you have known Papo for some time. But he is a good figure, very well detailed for his size, a paint job that looks much better in person, and he does look pretty good on the shelf with your other Papo figures. So, yeah, I give this guy a high review. Thumb up. Good job, Papo. So let me know what you think. Do you like this Polacanthus? Do you already own it? If not, do you plan on picking it up? Or is this guy just kinda not a chance for you? Are you not gonna give this guy a shot? If so, why not? Is it the color? Is it the detail? Let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next review.